Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Kevin and this is the Red Pilling channel. So I want to discuss really just my thoughts on how tired I am of the Israel and Gaza issue. Two foreign countries should not be in the headlines this much. And it's in the headlines so much that it's actually preventing people from actually discussing the issues here. Americans elected Donald Trump because he gave an America First vision, because our leaders, elites, ruling class has constantly puts America last and oftentimes prioritizes foreigners and overseas issues rather than Americans. Anywhere between mass migration, shipping our jobs overseas, and sending foreign aid to money we don't have to other countries, constantly trying to regime change by overthrowing governments. People are sick of it. Now, I think Trump is still anti-war. I still think he's the peace candidate. I think he will be the most anti-war president we've had in modern time, maybe even history. At least in a long time. I can't imagine. I can't remember who might have been more anti-war than anti-war. But Trump, in the more modern sense in America politics, he's definitely the most anti-war, and that's the vision we need to keep going down to. Now, again, Israel and Gaza being in the news so much, again, is taking the focus off here. And I know they're always been in the news ever since October 7th and before, but that happened. But even now, it's a problem. But specifically since the Iran, when they bombed Iran a couple months ago already, that's when they start taking the headlines constantly. It's either Israel, Gaza, or Iran. And honestly, I'm so burnt out with all three of them. Yes, Iran's our enemy. That's why we need a strong military. Why do you think Trump's trying to make us a strong military? He's trying to make us not vulnerable to attacks by enemies. Israel is our ally, but I don't really think we treat them fairly. I feel like we treat them our leaders almost deify them a lot of times, like they're some unique country, all because they like to intimidate us to support Israel by using a verse in Genesis that they don't really have context for. And even though the Bible's really clear on what it really meant, people would rather kind of use that to get you to support Israel no matter what. And like I said, and because you criticize, you're deemed anti-Semitic, you're deemed as you're called all kinds of things just for pointing out the obvious. And as for Gaza, well, it's a group that the left love to make victims and wants to defend, even though they never heard of Palestine, Gaza before. They'd rather, they never heard of Gaza till the media said you should support them. And again, look, Israel's our ally as of now, and, I get it. But like I said, we don't treat them fairly as like we do everyone else. And I think that's what people are getting fatigued of. And I honestly am getting to a point where, because this divide between Israel and Gaza is it's so divisive and it's making people so angry that that it's turning conservatives, right wingers, MAGA, anyone who all that unite against Trump, it's all dividing each other now into kind of turning against each other. Oh, look, that guy's anti-Semitic. Oh, guy, that's not Israel. Oh, he's pro Qatar. Oh, he's a Qatar agent, Iranian agent. Oh, he's a Russian agent. Oh, he's a neocon. People kind of, people getting so triggered that they're turning on each other, and that's what, and right now I think that's the left strategy, because I think right now they know they can't break MAGA, and the only way that MAGA can break at this point is by turning on each other, and they can break themselves, and that's a problem, and that needs to change, because I honestly I believe we all united behind Trump because America first. Well, guess what? If you're letting your Israel opinion in regards to being pro-Israel or anti-Israel or anti-Zionism, pro-Zionism, whatever, if you're letting that be the first issue in regards to your approval of Trump and approval of, both parties, I hate the Democratic Party, but let's face it, there's way more issue with the Democratic Party than, being them taking IPAC money, and same with the Republican Party. Their problem is, well, one hates America, and the others, well, they're weak and their interests are not here. They want democracies in other countries, but they don't care if it's here. That's the GOP. Without Trump. Without Trump, it's just neoconservatism trying to pretend they're MAGA. But again, if you're letting, I'm going to repeat it again, if you're letting Israel be the first issue in deciding your politics, how you vote, if you approve of Trump or not, or any candidate, then you're out of touch. You're not America first then, if that is your first issue. And it's kind of interesting. We're not supposed to put foreign countries first, but why would we let a foreign country be the first determination on how we vote? I'm not the biggest fan of Zionism either, and I'm kind of getting more red-pilled on that issue now more than I used to, because of the just things I've been seeing that has been turned me off. But again, it's not my first issue of Trump. It doesn't define Trump's presidency. In fact, Trump is doing everything he can to bring peace. So all the haters out there, well, I guarantee you didn't even vote for him in 2024. If you're suddenly going to leave him now, then you never supported him in the begin with, and you were just grifters the entire time. And well, as for the left, well, they'll hate him no matter what. So Trump can't really win with them. So he shouldn't be trying to please those people. So all the pundits out there, whether you are Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, people like who else is out there? There's Steve Bannon, Alex Jones, obviously Charlie Kirk. So some of them are not as fan of Israel. Some are not as pro-Zionism. Some some are less pro-Israel than others. I think they're all. There's the thing. Tucker's kind of pro-Israel. He just doesn't like the current government. Candace Owens is definitely more. She's definitely more anti-Israel. And Charlie Kirk, he's very pro-Israel. You have Steven Crowder, he's pro-Israel. You have Bannon, not as pro-Israel. You have Nick Fuentes, very anti-Israel. Then again, he's not even really that right-wing. He's just, I think he's trying to hurt the right's image, but to be honest with you. But regardless, if they are America first, all of them, they need to talk about American issues. Okay, we all know about Israel. Okay, fine, you have your stances, whatever. I understand, whatever. Yes, I'm not a fan of Zionism, but I also sick of Hamas too. I want them eradicated. I think there's a better way to do that than trying to occupy the entire land. That doesn't seem to be ever part of the deal, it seemed. So that, I have my issues with that, but how they're doing it. But yes, I love Hamas to be eradicated. I also am not the fan of Zionism, the way the way they kind of lobby our politicians that seem to put Israel first. I also don't want Iran having a nuclear weapon, So you can all agree with three. And that's the problem. There's people out there who don't think you can agree. You have to be one or the other, and that's the problem with this country right now. You have to think like they do, or else they call you stuff because they can't argue why they defend it, why they think the way they do. So, and honestly, every time Israel's in the news, it's only turning more people against Israel and Gaza. And right now, with the Gaza and Israel issue, because I do think right now Israel is kind of is on the losing side right now, just because the way it's been going on. I mean, I understand people disagree. I think there is Islamic propaganda. I think there's propaganda on both sides. That's why I'm kind of been neutral on the whole issue, because I really don't know who to side with on this. And sometimes I think it's just better not to side with anyone if you really don't know. Sometimes you don't always have to take sides, and people have to understand that. And the media wants you to take sides, and that's a problem. That's where the division comes from, that they try to put on this country. So, I don't know. But yes, I'm burnt out, and I want obviously, I'm glad Elon Musk, bought Twitter to purchase free speech. And I'm glad we have a lot of different conservative, and more independent media, out there, like Tucker and Candace, and Charlie Kirk, and there's a lot of other people out there. They all give good insights on some things, even if you don't always watch them. There's Steven Crowder. There's a bunch of them. There's also other independent media out there that are not as big as them that you can get information on. So there's a lot. So it's all important, and we need them to talk about America first issues. Okay, whatever. Yes, Gaza, Israel, whatever. You're anti-Israel. You're pro Gaza. You start Palestine. Whatever. At this point, it's at this point, there is propaganda happening. It doesn't matter really what side you're siding in. There's propaganda on both sides. So even if you side with Israel, you're probably not being told the truth on everything. And if you side with Gaza, well, you're not being told the truth either, because, well, there's still Hamas, and there's some people who try to pretend they don't exist. So it's not real. So it's like, yeah, and Islamic propaganda too is the problem too. So we need them to talk about America first issues. We all know what's happening overseas. Let's face it, we don't even know the history of Israel in that region. I mean, that region of the country has been around before America was even thought of, before even the West was established. It's people think they're such experts on this issue, and I think the reason people are so divided with Israel is because two things. A lot of it's religion, because a lot of there's segments of Christians who feel you have to be pro-Israel. There's those who, and a lot of it's theology. Again, religion. They have a little different interpretation on what Israel means, and that's what the divide is. That's, and Catholic and evangelical and, I guess, Protestant, they all have kind of different views of Israel. And, well, the Bible, I believe, is very clear. I did make a previous video about, what does the Bible say about Israel? So I recommend to watch that video if you're curious. about the nation of Israel and what it actually means. So, but anyway, that's all I have for now. Again, we need to focus on America first. We need our independent media, the commentators, all the people that have a big voice on where we are today that got Trump elect. We need them to focus on domestic issues. Enough with Israel and Gaza for now. If something big happens, I understand they report it, but what is having people on constantly, like Tucker the other day? This is like the third or fourth time he's had someone about Israel. Okay, all right, I get it. Whatever. Yes, there's problems over there, but come on, and Tucker Carlson, you're supposed to be the America First guy. So let's talk about domestic issues. You're one of the best voices out on that issue. So come on. And pray for Trump. Pray for him. Pray for his life. There's vicious people out there, and it's scary what's happening. Anyway, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, please like. If you have anything to comment and add, please comment. Again, if you like this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you like some notifications on when the next video is out. The Red Pilling Channel out.